All right. Well, it's another Tuesday. Means it's time for the big three. Hope everybody's tuning in, is having a great night. And we got a lot of great topics on the show. I can't wait to get into, and I'm sure everybody else on here is ready to get going. But before we do, Dylan, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Just working. Tomorrow's my 2-year anniversary, so excited for that. But overall, I mean, yeah, just working. Kind of a lull period. 2 days in between finals games, so it's just kind of just waiting for those big moments to happen. But overall, pretty good. Getting excited for this draft. A lot more rumors are starting to come out, so that's pretty interesting. I'm glad the NBA offseason moves along pretty fast, so it's like we always have some sort of kind of like news, which I'm glad for. Plus, the Blue Jays are doing pretty well as well. I mean, I think we just won our series against the Mets.
Didn't that pitcher get sent down to the AAA or whatever?
That Manoah.
Oh,
happens,
trash.
But I mean, I think we just won our 4th series, like our season series in a row. So I mean, we're doing pretty well without him, and if he can get back on pace, that would be pretty nice as well. But overall, doing pretty good.
All right, Jordan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I just want to say, if people are tuning in New Jersey, that's where I'm at. Be careful. Apparently, there's some fires coming from Canada or some wildfires. So I'm smelling. I don't know if Key can smell it in Philly, but there's a lot of the air quality in Jersey is kind of like thick right now, and it smells like smoke. So if you're in the surrounding area in Jersey, I'm in North Jersey, but South Jersey and Upper State New York, be careful, be safe before I go. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. Other than that, I'm going to the Yankee Boston game. I think game 1 of the weekend series on Friday. So I'm going with my boys. Oh yeah, so Key's already feeling it. Yeah, it's bad. Yes. At first I thought someone was like barbecuing, but it smelled like really like rubber and like it's bad. So and the sky's kind of like thick and smoky. So yeah, Key, everyone in Jersey, Philly, Trent, or the tri-state area, be careful. Like take precautions. I was gonna take my dog out, but it's not safe for my dog with that air right now. So yeah, everyone be careful. But yeah, I'm going to the game on Friday. Looking forward to the game 3. I know he tied it up game 1-1. Like Dylan said, the draft's coming up after the draft. I'm excited to see what Adam Silver does with John Morant with the suspension. So that's going to be coming down soon. So and now teams are going to do mandatory minicamp soon. So I'm excited for NFL. So
yeah,
I think Cowboys started their minicamp today. I think.
Yeah, a lot of teams are getting into the full swing of things with especially new acquisitions coming in, getting acclimated to the system, quarterback and all that. So yeah, we're right there with the NFL season. Not too far away. It's still far away, but it's close enough that we can start thinking about it. But Jake, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Everything's going pretty good here. I had a nice weekend. Got some great basketball, some really good stuff to look forward to, and yeah, Can't complain. Air quality is great here. I mean, I grew up on the West Coast where we had fires every summer, so I feel you on that, Jordan. Where there'd be fires so bad you couldn't see 100 feet past where you were going. So just be careful.
Yeah, like right now where I'm at, it's like I can see things, but it's just like a very like muggy and smoky. Like it's
Sure.
like it's more like near South Jersey, near the beaches, and like up there, like upstate New York, like up there. But it's coming. I think it's coming from Canada, coming down.
Yeah,
so.
heard it's coming from like Quebec or whatever. But yeah,
Quebec.
no. Otherwise, like things are great. Like really great basketball going on. Really good, really interesting finals so far.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like Jordan and Jake, well, Dylan as well. Got game 3 tomorrow night, but we'll get into that later on to the show. Want to start with NFL talk before we get into the NBA. And not a lot going on in the NFL other than OTAs and nothing really major going on with that right now. But Jameis Winston, who we're going to start with. So let me pull this up right here.
Famous Jameis.
That's what they call him. All right. So Jameis Winston, he was doing a little interview, whatever, and he said he feels like he has the skills to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. So the question, very simple. Do you guys see Jameis Winston as a starting quarterback?
Is he a free agent or is he still on the
He's
Saints?
still on the Saints.
Yeah, he's a
as
backup though. Yeah. But he feels like he could be a
Is he
starter.
like a 3 or 2? Because isn't Taysom Hill still there?
No, he's the backup. He's backing up Carr.
I don't need to
Tina's
see
the 3.
Taysom Hill under center, to be honest with you.
No,
Tina's the
Taysom
3,
Hill's gonna be the
Taysom Hill's a
gadget
tight end.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's
I mean, he did start with the Bucks, right? A couple years ago. I mean, he's had a
Started with the
couple.
Bucks. I mean, he did start with the Saints as well.
You go ahead, Dylan. I mean, you want to go first? I mean, I don't think he had a couple of games in Tampa. Obviously, it didn't work out. New coaches coming in. Brady came in. When he went to the Saints, he got hurt. I mean, he's just injury prone. I think he's too hurt. A lot of like I think he had an ACL, right? An ACL and knee. So I think if he's 100% healthy, he can be a good quarterback or for a team. Maybe a veteran who can teach a young QB like a Bryce Young or Stay Stroud or someone, or even Chicago to kind of like help out Justin Fields. But yeah, I mean, he just can't he can't stay healthy for a full season unless this season he did stay healthy. I think I don't know, but I know you got hurt like beginning of the season again. I think it was against Tampa or like last year or 2 seasons ago. But I think Jake can like back me up on that. I'm not sure if I'm right on that, but yeah, I mean, I think he could be a starter on a team. Maybe Tennessee. Jory.
I'll let Dylan go. I'll save my opinion for last since he's been on my team for a couple of years. I'll let Dylan put in his opinion.
So, I mean, overall, I don't feel – I'm not sure. This statement kind of puzzles me from Jameis Winston. It's like if you felt like you're going to be a starter, why didn't you, sign in an opportunity that would have made you a starter? I feel like he had opportunities to go to somewhere like Tampa Bay. A reunion there might have been interesting, especially in that offense.
Yeah.
They needed a quarterback. I think arguably people might favor him over Baker Mayfield in some systems. I mean, it's definitely an argument that could be made. I mean, just overall, it's interesting that he makes that statement when he's definitely going to be a backup this year. There's no chance that he's going to be competing for that starting spot. The only chance that he will start now is if Derek Carr gets injured. And it seems interesting. I don't know. It felt like if he went somewhere else in the offseason, like if he went to, like I said, Tampa Bay or Tennessee or something where he would have like a starting spot, I feel like that statement would be like a little more understandable. It just seems weird when it's coming from someone that is going to be a backup this year.
Wait, you said Tennessee, right?
I mean,
Yeah, but if Dylan says Tennessee, it's like a legit thing. Like you say, it just seems
No,
like
no,
he's
no,
trying to
no,
take a
but-
shot at Jordan.
Well, that too, but I mean, that's just, well, no, it's half and half. I think that that is a good fit. I mean, it's a chance for him to start, but
even Washington, for example.
Yeah.
That I mean, perfect. Terry McLaurin's one of the best deep ball receivers, and you have Jameis Winston, who's like one of his main skills is just throwing the ball deep. Seems like that would be a good combo. Especially, I don't think the Commanders are 100% sold on Sam Howell. So, I mean, it's definitely a good backup option. They got Brissett, but even still, Winston would have been a very interesting option in that offense.
Man, how old is Winston? He's like almost he's 30 in his 30s.
I think.
Man, he has to be.
Yeah, I think Winston's like early 30s, I believe.
Like 29, 30.
I think he's somewhere along there. Look, first of all, for Jameis Winston, as far as I know, his contract situation, I believe he signed a 2-year contract at the start of 2021. So he had that contract, or maybe it was the start of last year. So he signed a 2-year contract. So he didn't have a chance to enter free agency this year. It was last year where he could have gone somewhere else. And at that point last year with the Saints, they had no other good options because it was him and Andy Dalton. Are there 32 better quarterbacks than Jameis Winston currently in the NFL? Probably not. Like, you go into guys like Baker Mayfield, you look at Sam Howell in Washington, who could develop into being better in the future, maybe. But this year, probably not. The problem with him is the turnovers are bad. He does have a history with injuries, and he worked with Drew Brees for a few years, worked with Sean Payton for a few years, and when it was his turn to run the show, he didn't look great. He didn't look like an elite receiver. The first year after Drew Brees retired, he was throwing a decent amount of touchdowns, but he was getting like 150 or 180 yards a game. And you can't win in today's NFL where you only have less than 200 or less than 250 yards a game if you're going to be a primetime quarterback. I think that part of his game really struggles, where he struggles to make the right reads. He struggles to make the progressions throughout the plays it breaks down. And the biggest telling point, and I don't love Dennis Allen as a head coach for the Saints. I was really hoping they would have moved off from him this year. But when he was healthy, the Saints decided to go with Andy Dalton over Jameis Winston. And they probably handled that situation poorly, because you never want, if you're the starter and you get hurt, you shouldn't really ever lose your spot unless it's something that's so black and white, like Tom Brady to Drew Bledsoe. Like, you have to be on a killer run to really like prove that you're the guy. And he never got it back. He never got a chance to shine, which is not fair. But if the coaching staff is choosing to go with old Andy Dalton, who was not good last year, again, you have to take into account these guys know Winston more than we do. They know more football than we do, even though like you can question the head coaching decisions. They still know more than us. Mm-hmm. Is he a starting quarterback? Sure. Can he linger around? Can he go to Houston for a year if their guy's not ready, or Indy or Tennessee while their guys are getting ready? Sure. Is he going to be a starting quarterback in 2 years? I don't think so. I think that would be good. There's a lot of talent on Atlanta, and he could thrive there, within his limits. I just don't see it. The turnovers are bad. He has a bad time with ball security, with getting sacked as well, and he is injury prone. So I don't see it. If I was a Falcons team and we got Winston, I'd be happy because it's better than the quarterback situation we currently have. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be over the moon with it either. And that being said, like, I'm not over the moon with Derek Carr either. Like, it's just, they're all these kind of mid-tier quarterbacks. But yeah, he's a starter, sure. But is he a marquee name, or a name that fans are going to get excited about? Not anymore.
Okay. So Sijin did let us know that he is 29. I just looked up real quick. He is 29. And I think the one thing that does kind of work against Jameis Winston is everybody will say, well, look at 2019. Remember that great year? Over 5,000 yards passing. He threw for over 30 touchdowns. Yeah,
picks.
Unfortunately, he had 30 interceptions.
Yep.
And it seems like that one season has kind of become who Jameis Winston is. He can throw a lot of touchdowns. He'll throw a lot of interceptions. It's whether or not you want to deal with that. I mean, yeah, he had
seeing like 4 touchdowns, 4 interception games, and I'm like, God, he's slinging that thing now.
Yep. And he hasn't improved, and Sean Payton wasn't able to fix him. Like, if Sean Payton can't fix you as a quarterback, you're not going to be a superstar in the league anymore because he's the quarterback. He's just so great with quarterbacks. Look what he did with Drew Brees. Not saying Drew Brees was a bum without Sean Payton, but he turned him into one of the best quarterbacks the league's ever seen. And Winston never. He just kind of looks the same. If anything, he's regressed some from that 2019 because he can't throw for as many yards and he can't throw for as many touchdowns, but the turnovers are still a problem.
Yeah. But yeah, because I just pulled up his career stats as well. So since the 5,000 year, it's been like 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 yards passing, and interceptions have been all double figures, around 15 a year after the 30 year. So he did get better than 30, but it's still like 15. And the touchdowns have been like 20, 22 on average. So, yeah, I mean, I think that ratio has to get better, especially with the way the rules are slanted toward the offense. You would like to think a guy with Jameis Winston's arm talent could throw for, 30 touchdowns a year easily. But you just have to worry about whether he will turn it over just as much or even more. And then the whole LASIK stuff was still one of the most fascinating things for me.
Yeah.
Where he went all of these
honestly,
years without
you say
it,
that, and I forgot about that.
and then randomly did it like 2 years ago.
He's like, yeah, I got LASIK, and it's like, shouldn't you have gotten that like sooner?
Rookie year? Like that was crazy.
In college?
Right, because that was the thing with him in college. The camera would always zoom into him and he'd always be squinting at something. And I always figured, like, all right, maybe he can't get it in college because whatever. But that has to be something that gets, done early on in his career.
Exactly.
And he just
wear
never
glasses
did it.
or something.
I mean, look, if Jameis Winston gets a starting job somewhere, would I be upset? No. It's just, it wouldn't really wow me if he turned up like in Indy randomly and was just like the Jacoby Brissett type role where he's supposed to be like a mentor, comes in for a little bit. Yeah, I'd rather have Jacoby Brissett because Jacoby Brissett will at least take care of the ball. I know that about him. The worst thing is to have a backup spot starter type who's careless with the football. So Mo says he'll get other opportunities, but his team's current backup, he should focus on being ready when he gets another shot. He has to learn how to protect the ball. That said, look at Geno last year.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that after he was finished with the comment. I was going to say he could kind of have like a Geno resurgence. Just wait till another team believes in you. If you got to play a backup role, maybe look at LA and be like, okay, do I have to sit behind Stafford maybe for another year if he stays healthy and then they move on or he retires or something and then I get the team? Okay, I'll learn a little bit more. I imagine he has a wealth of knowledge from being coached from Sean Payton, just overall from his time with the Buccaneers. I mean, maybe it wouldn't hurt to just learn from other people and just wait till you get that opportunity and then be ready.
Yeah. Also, as the backup to Derek Carr, it's just one play away from him getting his opportunity. And, like Mo and, Dylan, you just said, if he gets that opportunity, he's going to have to seize it because even if it's not necessarily with the Saints, it's just an auditioning for another team that may have a young quarterback that they realize isn't ready. He can be a bridge quarterback, which, not necessarily a positive connotation of being a bridge quarterback, but hey, there's been a lot of quarterbacks who've made a good living being a bridge quarterback. So it's whether or not I guess he can take that for his ego or whatever. But well, it's interesting to see if Jameis Winston gets another shot around the NFL.
Chad Henne has a ring. Look at him.
I mean, Chad Henne got paid well. He made like one play and two playoff runs.
He has 2 rings though, right?
Yeah, I guess he was the backup this year. I wasn't 100% sure if he was the backup this year, but I guess he was.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then he went off into the sunset as maybe the luckiest backup in recent history.
Jags legend.
All right, well, let's go to the next one. Now, this one's a little bit of a fun topic here because everybody's going to be talking about it. Madden 24 cover. We know NFL players pay attention to who's on the cover. They're all about their rating and all that. And tomorrow's supposed to be the cover reveal. I know there's a rumor out there, but taking the rumor aside, who would you want to see as the cover athlete?
Well, I looked up the kid. I looked up the finalists. It's CBS Sports had Joe Burrow. It's Justin Jefferson, Allen, Hurts, and then I think Lawrence. I think those are the final candidates. I think.
So real quick, I will say those are the correct final candidates except Lawrence. I think they just threw him out there because he's just the Jaguars are an up and coming team. But I don't think Trevor Lawrence is at that point.
Not yet.
Travis Kelce would be
next year.
interesting. I would replace Trevor Lawrence with someone like Micah Parsons. Big name. A lot of fans know him. He's a younger star. I think if you think of some of the well-known defensive players now in the NFL, at least first-name basis or household names, Micah Parsons is probably really up there, especially being on the Cowboys. Now, a lot of people don't want to see a Cowboys player on the cover, but overall, he's a great defensive player. And we haven't had a defensive player since Richard Sherman in 2015. So, I mean, it's definitely something that's well due as well. Or Aaron Donald. I mean, throw a defensive player on the cover. We haven't had one.
That'd be good. I think if, going off of the information we have, I think Justin Jefferson's going to get it, and I'd be happy if he did. I don't think his stock's going to get much higher after that ridiculous catch against Buffalo. That was legitimately probably the most impressive catch I've ever seen in all my years watching football. But to go with someone that's maybe more of a dark horse candidate that could get in there, going on the defensive side, I could see TJ Watt getting the nod. He wrecks. I know he was hurt last year, and that might hurt his chances a little bit for it. But he's a game wrecker. I mean, I don't love the Steelers, but he's just when he's healthy, that team is a completely different. They're a beast. He's very popular. He's brothers with JJ Watt, and so there's already recognition there on top of winning Defensive Player of the Year. So I think he could be really fun to see on that as someone that would be more of a dark horse. But if I was a gambling person, it'd be Justin Jefferson. That's who I'd put my money on.
Now, I mean,
personally, when I see that DeMar Hamlin thing, I could see something about it being like Josh Allen and DeMar Hamlin.
Maybe like a special edition, like the $100 premium edition.
They've done split covers a couple of times, one being Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald, one being Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. So it's not something that they haven't done before. If they did Josh Allen and DeMar Hamlin or something like that.
Yeah, or could be something. I was thinking like how NBA 2K, where they'll have their different versions, have different athletes for it, and they could have the DeMar Hamlin or Hamlin and Allen as the really expensive one, and then your normal person at the entry level price.
Yeah, I mean, I know no company would do that, but I know DeMar Hamlin has a charity. It'd be cool if they put a little proceeds.
It'd be very cool.
You buy the ultimate, if you buy the special edition, they'll donate so and so, whatever. But they won't do that. Cool. Stingy.
Yeah, I saw. I saw like that. Like these people on Twitter that are crazy. No matter what topic you talk about, but. There was a post where RG3 said beside DeMar Hamlin, and I agree with RG3. There was people that comment saying, DeMar Hamlin was this. I mean, people are just messed up. They're sick. They're like people. He's a bench warmer.
It's the comment section.
Yeah, he was taking care of Micah Hyde's job. And I'm like, bro, like really. Like he did come back from like a life, ending, that could have caused, I hate to say it, a death, but he came back from it, and that would be awesome to see him on the cover. But also there's those sick fans on Twitter that he don't deserve it because he was on the bench, and if it wasn't for Michael Hyde getting hurt, so it's I feel like I'm like a lawyer on Twitter. I defend everyone. I defend everyone. So,
don't waste your time on Twitter, man. You ain't gonna change no one's mind.
Look, I do it for the entertainment, man. I just do it for the entertainment, man. Just to go back and forth. But
I do it once, and then I'm like, all right, I've had enough for today. All right, so Anthony put the whole Eagles defense on it, and then he said
the whole Georgia defense.
Basically. So Anthony, we're talking about. RG3 said put DeMar Hamlin on the Madden cover. So
not being funny. I thought you meant DeMar Hamlin for being funnier. I read that wrong. Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. To the cover. Yeah, I mean maybe do that for a special audition. I'm telling you. I mean, even if he's on the cover, I'm not buying the high edition. I'm buying the standard edition. Because Madden has been a copy and paste game. It's just the same,
Crossplay
different.
this year.
Which
I know, but different rosters. Different
a
rosters.
lot
They're
of
gonna
people.
change up.
What
They've been
what
changing
really do
stuff
you think?
throughout the year.
Yeah.
Like, what do you
Yeah.
expect with a sports game necessarily? Most of the time, it's going to be copy and paste because it's just the
Yeah.
roster.
How many features can you change? How many things can you actually add?
But I do think they should probably go with like a split cover because you know a lot of times they like to put a quarterback on the cover. I think it'd just be cool
Gross.
to put quarterback in maybe their star wide receiver or quarterback running back if that's the second start to the team. I mean, we don't need to have just one guy on it. Like if they went with like if it was Josh Allen, then do Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Why not?
I'm down for all of that. I mean, personally, if I had to pick one player that I think would get it and that would make the most sense, I would have to agree with Jake and say Justin Jefferson. He does a lot for Madden as is. He promotes the game a lot. I'm pretty sure he streams the game a lot as well, too. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if you think of probably one of the, if not the most popular receiver in the NFL, it's probably Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's got a big name and he rose to stardom pretty fast, and that was just based off his skill alone. I mean, I personally would lobby for Justin Jefferson or Jalen Hurts would be my first two picks. But I mean, overall, it's probably going to be Josh Allen. The leaks are usually not wrong, but they can pull a fast one on us and have a backup.
Right. So Anthony put Patrick and Travis Kelce in a special edition.
Yeah, you need
But
to
the
do
Kelce
something with the
brothers.
Chiefs. I know Mahomes was the cover of what was it this year's as well too? No, it was John Madden for the cover, but like not too long ago, Mahomes was the cover. He's been the cover twice. Yeah, he put
No.
Travis Kelce on there, please. I
Don't
don't,
put
want Mahomes on
Patrick.
the third cover.
Don't put Patrick, man. Please.
Yeah, please don't put Mahomes on it. We've had. I don't want him on a third game.
Like I'm
Put
okay with
Travis
Kelsey. I'm okay with Kelsey.
I'm okay
but
with another Chiefs player, but like
who
shoot.
was
Put Chris
was-
Jones on there before I see Mahomes on a third cover.
who's on the cover for 2023? Who was the initial?
It was John Madden.
That was John Madden.
Oh,
John
I forgot. Yeah, John Madden. Yeah, John Madden.
Although rumor was it was supposed to be Josh Allen, then Madden passed away, so they changed to Madden.
So probably gonna be Josh Allen for if he is the runner up. I guess he is the favorite. I mean, yeah. I mean, I know Burrow was on that list.
And here we go. It was only a matter of
Don't
time
put
for
him on
Anthony.
it.
He was on what, 18?
He was on 2018 and 19. I mean, hey, I'd rather have him than freaking your trash ass Brissett on there.
Sam Howell. Although
Or
that's
Sam
not,
Howell.
no, because Rob Rivera said it's like.
I mean, he won't touch that. They can get covered to like 2032, man. So Sam Howell. So. But don't start, Anthony. Don't start, man. You don't want to smoke, man.
Hey, don't talk crap on my UNC boy. Hal's about to shock the world and be on the cover of 25.
Yeah, all right.
Could
Yeah, he beat out Burrow. He beat out Burrow and Hurts and Lamar.
All right. So yes, the reveal will be tomorrow. We'll get to find out who finally will be on the cover, and I'm sure it's going to be.
Who is this dude Peyton Hills, man? Like, who is Peyton Hills?
Oh,
He was a running back for the
Hillis?
Browns.
You're not a real
Man,
gamer
so
then,
the
man.
crazy thing about that Madden cover, that was the cover of Madden 12, and they let fans vote on it that time.
Yeah.
They had
Yep.
I'm not sure if it was 32, but I'm pretty sure it was 32 players that they had people vote on in like a bracket for.
each team
And
had
Peyton
one.
Hillis
Oh,
won.
This
Peyton
clown?
Hillis won.
Oh,
And
he
that's why they
he
stopped
had a
doing
crazy
it.
year. He wasn't a clown
Oh,
at that
man.
point.
No, it was a joke.
He was like, I'm pretty sure he was like the bottom seed as well of that whole bracket thing.
Did he
and,
actually
like,
make the cover,
Still
though?
won.
Yes,
he
he
was
was
on
the
the
cover athlete.
Yeah, he was the cover of Madden
athlete.
12.
Yeah.
That's like if you go buy the game or you see the cover, he's the cover.
It's him. That's the cover.
Mhm.
I'll just say really quick before we move on. I haven't bought a copy of Madden since like 2013 or so. If Jake Hayner's on the cover with those poses, I am buying it. I'm pre-ordering that game because that would just be the most beautiful thing I would ever see. Best cover of all time.
See, Syjan, my bad. I can't read. Syjan, I kind of agree. But they have to do it very limited. You can't do it as big as it was before. You can't do 32. You can't do 16. I don't even think you should be allowed to do 8. Give us 4 candidates.
Yeah.
And just let us vote from there. I think you get 4 candidates. Maybe you have like a pro, like you could do something if you still do the Pro Bowl, have like a Pro Bowl challenge where you have select people compete and the winners will be put in a fan vote to be on the cover of Madden. I think that would be really cool. Make it competitive. But
that's actually not a bad idea.
What do they what do they base the men cover athlete on
It's
popularity?
usually
just what would generate money, who's popular in social media. That's why I said Justin Jefferson would be really good. What makes sense. They probably want to do someone who's
Man, we forgot about
good.
Stephon Diggs too.
Yeah.
On the Bills.
For example, if you look at the covers outside of last year's because of John Madden, Lamar Jackson got it the year after he won MVP. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady got it after they dueled it out in the Super Bowl.
They had the GOAT talk.
Yeah.
The GOAT, like the Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and Mahomes.
they always do it to who's popular. The votes kind of messed it up. I imagine Peyton Hillis wasn't one of the most popular players in the NFL even when he had a really good season. But that's why the voting's a little bit flawed. But overall, they try to make it whoever's popular.
Right, because we've seen with voting, it can get kind of crazy. Look at this past season with the NBA All-Star and that voting, how crazy it was at one point. So I do think you need to limit fans' options, because if you do 32, it'll probably turn into another Peyton Hillis here. It'll probably be some random guy on a team, and everybody will be like, "Oh, I'm just going to go for him just a troll."
Pancake Patrick Ricard and the Ravens. He's a fan favorite though in Baltimore. He's a fan in the NFL. He's a cool guy, lineman. No. I think it's around the league. He can play lineman. He can play fullback. He can play.
Nobody's going for a fullback.
Same with Nick. That's what every fullback does. Seattle has a guy like that, like Nick Ballore. He plays fullback and he's a linebacker.
I agree. Madden 10 -5, man. 05 with Ray Lewis on the cover. That was the best Madden.
No, Madden 10 was the best. Madden 10 was the best cover.
Who was Madden 10 the dual one?
Yeah, that's the Fitzgerald and Trip Palomalu.
Man,
that cover was
2006 was pretty good. 2015 was pretty good.
The Seahawks guy.
We had Sean Alexander in 2006, Richard Sherman in 2015.
All right, so what y'all think? They're gonna name Madden 25 since they already used Madden 25. You think they'll pivot to Madden? Yeah, that Madden 25 was the 25th anniversary. I think they'll probably just keep it 25, because that's when Peterson was on, right?
No, it was yes, Peterson was on the next gen. They had 3 different next gen athletes, right. And then on the old gen it was Barry Sanders.
That's right.
That's right. Okay.
You said put Mike Tomlin on. Might as well put me on there too, man. It'd be like,
Well, they had an NFL head coach game for 1 year.
Man, they need to bring it back. It was a fun game.
Yeah, I liked it.
Enjoyed it.
I liked it.
Since you're a Patriots fan, how come your boy Belichick hasn't been on the Madden cover or in the Madden game?
He doesn't like it.
Yeah, Belichick doesn't care for it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have to do a face scan. It's probably just he's like, I could be doing football stuff.
I want to see one man game with him in the game.
Yeah, I do too. I wish there's a way he could just sign off on a paper. I'm pretty sure now he doesn't even have to go for a proper face scan. They could just be let us use just pictures of you. We'll make it work.
It's a random white guy's face, man.
It's always this weird skinny white dude with glasses.
Yeah, it's him dude with the glasses, bro. Come on, yo.
He's been the longest tenured Patriots coach of all time.
There's a lot of guys, because for a while Jordan wasn't in games. I don't think Barkley's ever been.
Nope.
Yeah, Barkley refuses to put his image and likeness in video games as well.
Sure, this is the first year Reggie Miller's been in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miller, really?
Yeah, Reggie Miller's
he's always been held out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The halftime show, it was Kenny and Ernie and then Shaq, and then there was no Barkley. So yeah, he's never.
Barkley. Yeah, I'm sure Kyle can feel this pain. You remember back in the old days in the '90s playing NBA Jam. You could never play Jordan. He was never there. It was terrible. You're I want to play Jordan. Nope, you got Scottie Pippen and Tony Kukoc on NBA Jam instead. Deal with it.
Yeah, I was like Dylan said, I am hyped as cosplay, so I can. Like I said in the group chat, like line it up, man. Line it up.
You'll get the short. So John says, we're
y'all heard Kyle live. I'm gonna get the story. So
what's going to be the X factor for the
where
he laughed at me and another guy when I said Bam or Love was going to be the X factor for the Heat.
Where Pride? Who's Pride?
I'm trying to think who that is.
Where Pride at? He laughed at me and another guy when I said Bam.
NBA Heat was best game you won. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know.
On fire from downtown. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That was my childhood.
Yep. Put in the cheat to play as Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. That was always the best. That was the best, man.
Games were just simple back then.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like, who do you like? I guess before we go on to the NBA, like, who do y'all want on the cover? Like, who's your?
Yeah, Kyle, you didn't make a pick yet.
Yeah.
I would like to see
Probably Mac Jones.
Okay, I'm not like you with the Ravens. You'd be like, I want, what's it, Hamilton and
Raquan Smith.
Roquan. I mean, he.
J.K. Dobbins.
I mean, Roquan.
J.K. Dobbins.
I mean, Roquan. I wouldn't be mad about that. Roquan Smith.
No.
Why not?
Man hasn't won any defensive player, any awards.
Like they haven't had a defensive player in forever, and Roquan Smith's gonna be the first one. Nah, I can see Sauce Gardner before Roquan Smith.
Yeah, it's actually a good pick. Now that you say that, he's very
got a lot of flair.
Well.
That's the thing with Sauce. He's got a lot of flair.
Yeah, he would fit that realm. Like honestly, that now that you say that, Kyle, if he has an excellent season, like he will legitimately be the first defensive player that will probably be on the cover. Now that you say that.
I'd like to see it. I'd be cool with it. I like Sauce.
Especially if the Jets just have a great season this year. He locks up as a corner, is not even a defensive player of the year, but just even like in contention and in talks. 100% he's going to be next year's cover.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, a coach, but I don't know who.
Anthony, yes, I do.
Yep.
Yeah, the hype for NCAA is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
There is like. I would say there is probably, I don't know a big number, but at least probably 10 to 20, 30,000 people who don't play Madden that are just waiting for NCAA and haven't played Madden because of NCAA.
Is it going to be
Jake being the
That's me.
One
me.
already there. And when NCAA comes out, I hope they plan on having a lot bigger servers than what they have for Madden because they're going to get a lot of people back on.
Yeah, I play NCAA 14 probably once or twice a month. Just hop on and go through that. But I don't play Madden. Like that's where I lie with that is, and I know there's a lot of people that keep the game alive and have mods to keep the game alive. So absolutely, that game is gonna whatever number Madden does for sales, NCAA next year is gonna dwarf it. Absolutely dwarf it. And I'm pre-ordering that stuff, and I can't wait.
Is it gonna be like crossplay?
We don't
imagine,
know.
If you have that point where
but we don't
Madden's
know.
crossplay, you already have the server capability to do with NCAA. Like the franchises are going to be so great. Crossplay franchises in college recruiting against you. Like I'm telling you, if they make it like 30 people, I don't know how big you could do something like that because college is a lot different than like an NBA or an NFL or an MLB where they all are just like a set amount of teams. College, it's a lot different. But like I swear, if I can recruit against like 20 different people, that's gonna be rough. Like I'm sorry, if me and 19 other people are trying to get the number one recruit, like that decision day is gonna be really big. Like they need to have like a little cut scene or something where he picks up a hat. Like that's gonna make everyone go wild.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't cheese against the computer in recruiting if you're doing that online stuff. If there's like 20 people,
I'm telling you, EA, I'm giving you ideas. Like NFL, I'm giving you ideas. Like,
just like
put me in there.
Just like Juan said, NCAA might say Madden. I think when they do the basketball March Madness one, I'm just gonna say 2K because they kind of incorporated the college in 2K a little bit, but like I miss playing that March Madness game back in the day.
If anything, EA will probably get the rights to it. They already have the rights to a lot of college athletics. I mean, I think with NIL, 2K could make a bid, and it's just a matter of negotiations. But I think just the NCAA committee has worked with, EA for such a long time that I feel like they would probably get the rights to do college basketball again. 2K hasn't really had it except for like early years, I don't think.
Yeah. All right, so let me catch up with some of these. How about the head coach on the cover? We talked about that, and we also said the head coaching game that they had for like that
Bring
1
back
year.
the head coach game.
Back.
Yep.
I
Bring back the
love
coach
that.
game.
I'm not too much of a fan of having the head coach on the cover. Bring back the head coach game. That was really fun.
Bring back the coach game and then put the coaches on there.
You said the
The
coach.
Seahawks
the
fan
coach
probably say DK Metcalf, LOL, but honestly, I say it should be Hurts or it could be Brady because it was his last year.
Con-
See, I said Jefferson or I said
Damn, John
Jefferson
calling you
or
out, man.
Nah, I didn't say any Seahawks players.
Yeah, you didn't actually. Yeah.
Crossplay. And then Juan, y'all got me in the mood to play Madden. Well,
Be mad or John or Juan. What do you play? PS4 or Xbox?
Jordan's looking for somebody to lose to. Juan.
Nope. Looking for another ass whooping victim.
Sure. All right.
Oh,
well,
man, I keep on talking, man. Like you give me more fire, yo. Like
see, Juan knows where it's at. PS5.
PS5. Okay. Well, you're lucky, Juan. Maybe 2024. You're next.
John, there you go, John, for you.
Oh, John, you got Xbox?
I was gonna be about to be by John. Oh.
There you go. Play your nemesis, Anthony.
Yeah.
since
All right,
you
John.
promised
If you talking all that shit, like Jabber Gamer tag in the chat, man. Shit.
There you go. Play Anthony. He's always trolling you. Now you can play him on.
Oh,
Madden.
okay. All right, Anthony. Oh, just Jabber Gamer tag.
See, Jordan, you started. Could go best of 5, so you lose all 5.
Oh my! You don't put money on that? Don't put money on that, man.
I mean, Jordan, I'm telling you, we had a best of 5 technically, and I won 4. We had a best of 6, and I won 4. So I mean,
You can go best of 5, so you lose all 5. Oh man! Jabber
All
Gamer
right, so
tag.
we'll have the Madden reveal tomorrow, and then we
Anthony.
can touch on it next week to see who they picked and all that good stuff. But let's go ahead to NBA. Also, John said, you said
I mean, what does that have to do with the Madden?
Lakers
though?
with their suits.
What?
yeah, Lakers slander.
I mean, hey, I wasn't gonna bring the Lakers up today.
Come back to the chat all the time.
And we're not bringing the Lakers up today because we're talking about the actual teams that matter.
Well, Kyrie,
Kyrie's a clown. We're
No,
talking
Kyrie-
about the Heat.
you gotta cut me off, Kyle. Come on, bro. You're like, oh man.
Kyrie operates probably 0.2% of my brain right now. Kyrie's just talking right now. We'll touch on that a little later. Fine, we'll talk about that.
But John, I'm serious. I mean, drop a gamer tag and Anthony, man. If you're, don't be scared.
All right, so hold on. Jake's trying to get back in. Well, John has a question before we get started with the finals. Should Boston trade Brown? No.
Yes.
Yeah, Jordan be like, trade him to the Lakers.
Or trade Tatum. Freaking man.
Sign and trade Austin Reeves. We don't need him
Should've
anymore.
drafted
Okay,
him.
I know. We
Don't
got
get him.
Lonzo freaking Ball, injury prone Braun, or Ball.
Because Mr. Media, Magic Johnson, knew drafting Lonzo Ball is going to bring more attention. And that's the guy y'all had running your team. So that's Lakers talk.
Bees.
Make me tired.
All right,
man.
so Heat Nuggets. We've played games 1 and 2 in Denver. They split. Well, actually, I didn't even let you guys answer, John. Dylan, you think they should? Because Jordan said yes. I say no. Should Boston trade Jaylen Brown?
No, just a quick on that. Tatum and Brown works. I think, you just got to find just some right other pieces around them. I feel like you would give Tatum a different star. It could work just worse. And, you trade someone who has already been in the city, who already knows the system a lot, even with the new head coach, who already knows how Jason Tatum plays and a lot of the other members. I think it'd just be stupid. You're still going to have a lot of that same core, even if you trade Jaylen Brown away, because it's not like you're trading for a better star. I'm not sure who would you even want to really trade for to try to pair with Tatum. That's really would
all
make
the
sense.
rumors are
it makes sense to keep them
Damian
both.
Lillard, stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, I don't like any of those options.
I don't either.
I think
You
keeping
don't
Brown
like
there is just safer.
Dame, right? Kyle or
Bro,
Lillard or Kyle?
I mean, every year it's pick a city for Dame Lillard. Okay,
Brooklyn.
he could just stay in Portland, and they
It
could
was
figure it out
LA,
there.
and well, no.
Portland.
To be real, it was LA. They were the target, but
It's
yeah,
been
every
everywhere. It's been LA.
I
it's
think
been
they would
New
have
York,
to trade
it's been
Mikal
Miami,
Bridges to make
like-
it work. I think they would have to probably trade Mikal Bridges to make it work, but every bone in my body wants to see Damian Lillard and Mikal Bridges play on the same team.
Well, Brooklyn kind of said they're not interested in moving Bridges, which I think is smart.
That's smart.
They also said they're going to retry. Yeah, don't move him.
Yeah.
Dame to Atlanta.
Not unless it's to Atlanta. And
Dame to Atlanta. Trade to Portland.
So are we? Kyle, sorry, got dropped out there for a minute. Are we talking about what to do with Jaylen Brown? Is that what?
yeah,
Yeah,
just real
John
quick.
put that as the question before the final talk.
So the only thing that I would say, like, I think Boston should re-sign him because, I mean, you kind of have to. And the trades, there's not a whole lot of good opportunities that are there. The only thing I could think of when we talk about the trades is if somehow maybe Boston could get Scoot in the trade to Portland because then you get a playmaking point guard. But I think the best thing to do is to sign him. The only thing that would give me some pause is this new CBA that's coming out is going to really heavily punish teams that are on that second tier of taxpayer money or whatever it is for the salary cap. And you're not able to, like, you don't get your mid-level exception. You can't take on extra salary in trades. You can't trade away future draft picks that are beyond like the first or second year. So you're very heavily restricted on the movements that you can do. So the question then becomes: Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable having, $110 million a year on these two dudes, or $100 million a year on these two guys that play very similar positions? That's the only reason I would think you might look into trading him is just because of the new rules with the salary cap.
I mean, the reason why I said yes to the question is because I think that, I mean, or maybe I see like one more year of Tatum and Brown, because I feel like when I see them play, like, because they're kind of both. Well, Tatum's one of the ball dominant player, but they both want the ball in their hands, and I feel like Brown would be better off on a team that is like the focal point, because all attention is on Tatum, and Tatum kind of like, and Brown kind of loses himself, and like, especially in this year's playoffs, like he was shooting terribly. And hey, people have bad games, it happens. It's the NBA, but I feel like Brown would be better off like on a team by himself, where he's like he can need that LeBron, have the ball in his hand, like kind of like be like with Trae Young, or be with another like. I would like.
I'm sorry, I'm a Hawks fan. As much as I like Trae Young, I'd rather see Jaylen Brown and DeJounte Murray than Trae Young and Jaylen Brown.
I would move Trae Young in a heartbeat if I could.
I love Trae Young
or Brown,
and that's Murray. That's the reason I'm a Hawks fan is kind of because of Trae Young. Like, I've always been like an NBA fan and always rooted for the Hawks, but him going there was like, I'm waiting for Seattle to get their team back.
I mean, yeah, of course because you defended Trae Young the other day, like, heavily.
I don't think I was wrong to that.
No, but the only thing you do have to be concerned about with Jaylen Brown is it looks like he's kind of the player he's going to be. I don't think there's the next tier. Like Jason Tatum, I think we can all agree has a little bit more room to like improve. He has a next level that he could potentially get to. Right. Jaylen Brown, I feel like he is kind of what he is, and the concern for me is that initially when he came in the league, he was a defensive stopper. Like, that was his specialty. And I get that when your offensive game improves, you lose some stuff on defense. But it looks like he's just been kind of an average defender this year at best. Plus, he can't really dribble the ball. So there are some concerns there, but you probably have to kick it, run it back, give the head coach a full offseason with the guys, rebuild the coaching staff. That's what I think I would do. I'm sure I missed Kyle's answer when my internet crashed, but I'm assuming you'd want to just re-sign them both.
That's exactly it.
Resign. Well, I might just see Brown and Tatum for like one more year to see if they can,
You don't need the one more year stuff though. It's been like 6 years of them together.
Even in this NBA, if Jaylen Brown ends up being like whatever, like a lot of these players just still somehow get traded when they want out. Like, if it doesn't work a year or two later, if Jaylen Brown is still posting somewhat of the same numbers and it doesn't work, You could trade him.
I feel like Brown,
in 2-3 years from now, his contract will actually kind of might be cheaper than what some of the other players are making. So.
I feel like Jake said, I feel like Tatum has a next level to like go up, but I think Brown has kind of like reached his peak, you know, like there's no really. I mean, have you
kind of in the same boat with Kyle.
Jake just said it though. Ball handling is something he can improve on.
Where was he at in the playoffs, man? 0 for 7.
He was turning the ball over. That's what he was doing. He can't dribble.
Where was
you
dribble?
But you realize once Tatum rolled his ankle, that completely changed the game.
Oh no, I know that, but I'm saying, okay, then Brown, he step up.
When you look at the Celtics, ball handlers, you would go Smart, White, Brogdon, Tatum.
Is Marcus really a ball handler? Though? Who's the better ball handler, him or Kyrie? Come on,
why are we talking about Kyrie? Come on, dude.
I'm saying as a ball handler, not as a person.
I was talking about ball handlers on the team.
So you're asking who's a better ball handler? The best ball handler to maybe ever play in the NBA, or Marcus Smart? Like,
it's like saying, hey, who's a better basketball player, me or Duncan Robinson? Like, it's Duncan Robinson. Come on.
But no, but I'm saying it like, okay, yes, like how Tatum went down with the ankle. Okay, Brown should have stepped up. If he was a Batman to it, if he was a Robin to Tatum's Batman, I mean, where was he at? He's the next best player on the team. Like,
Jordan, this could turn to like 45 minutes because there's plenty of players I could point to in the same situation. How about your Lakers with AD and all the times they want AD to step up?
Don't turn around on me, man. I'm talking about the Celtics right now, man.
I just told you what happened.
He earned the finals because Brown laid an egg.
Okay, Jordan. All right, laid an egg. All right.
I mean, he did. He's 0 for 7, 0 for like 13.
Probably he was not 0 for 13.
Or 2 for 12 in the freaking playoffs.
He was not LeBron in the fourth quarter from 3. All right, let's keep going.
Where was he at games all series, man?
He wasn't LeBron from 3 in the fourth quarter. Been hearing rumors here in South Round for Zion for future and similar money. I know sounds dumb, but just think about it for a second.
I mean, that's out there. I mean, a lot of teams. I mean, to be fair, a lot of teams don't like trading stars in the same conference. So imagine if he was to be traded, he would probably go to the West. Zion maybe needs a change of pace. I guess it would be very interesting.
Court.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would have to like guarantee he could step on a court, and if you could, it'd be intriguing.
So.
If
we had a time machine and we could look into the future, and if Zion is healthy, we know let's say Zion plays in 50 to 65 games for the next 3 years or 4 years or whatever, then I think you make this trade because Zion at his peak is nearly unstoppable. The problem is, how many games has he played in the past like 3 seasons? It's like next to nothing. So you can't just give up an asset like Jaylen Brown for nothing, because look what happened to Brooklyn. They had a great asset in James Harden. They made a trade. They said, we could fix Ben Simmons. He'll be fine here. He's got the perfect teammates, the perfect place to thrive. And he's garbage, and he can't play. Worst contract in the league. They wasted that prime Harden asset for nothing. Now they got a lot of assets back in the KD trade, but KD left because they got nothing from the Harden trade. If you trade Jaylen Brown and Zion can't play, then Boston's just doomed especially with that contract that he has and the new rules. You can't do it. I would stay away from that. As tempting as it is, because when he's healthy and when he's on, he's amazing. But you just, man, that's talk about a risky bet. That'd be the riskiest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
You probably feel more confident taking Brandon Ingram at that point.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can we get Brandon Ingram instead?
Yeah. I'm not like hating on Brown. I'm not hating on Brown. I mean, I like another player. I think he might strive more. He might strive better on like a different team where like
ESPN right now. Because I've been hearing that on ESPN, and I think it's foolish. Although Windhorse kind of threw it in their face, like most teams fight for decades to find 2 guys like Tatum and Brown.
That's true.
Boston's just supposed to trade them.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they do trade Brown, at the end of the day, I mean, they're not gonna like trade him for nothing. They're gonna get assets back
Well, yeah.
because like he's that kind of a player. Like he's earned that right. I mean, I like him as a player. It's just like I feel like he can strive on better on another team with like
Well,
him as a focal star like, on that team.
So
Like,
here's the pushback to that.
I think Tatum is like taking that kind of that
well,
shine from
okay,
him.
but here's the pushback. Tatum takes a lot of the pressure off of Brown. You just said where was he in Game 7 when he needed to step up? So could you imagine if Jaylen Brown was running a team with the ball handling issues that he has? How would that team do?
Well,
So
if he had a ball handler on his team, then he wouldn't have a problem.
If you're
But
a
if he
perimeter
becomes
guy,
the number one guy on a team, he's going
Right.
to have to do some ball handling.
right? So
Good
let me
amount
jump-
of it.
I'm saying like he can play like a Luka Doncic role, like a LeBron role, like someone
Lu-
can play that
oh,
position, you know?
Luka Doncic is
No, I'm
handling
just
the ball all
no,
the
but I'm
time.
just saying he can. But I'm saying he can play like that KD, like that small forward role, like
Those
that
are,
one
those are
role.
more,
So-
those are
so let me
other
just-
guys
I'm
that
sorry,
can
Jordan.
ball
You're not
up.
helping your case. You're naming primary ball handlers here.
Let me
Yeah.
just say this real quick. It's just like if you're the number one guy and you're a wing player, you have to be able to attack the basket. And to do that, you have to attack the basket off of the dribble.
Well,
If
Brown
you're
can
a
attack
one,
the basket. He
a
can
two,
definitely.
a three, well, yeah, attack the basket, but with the dribble, we saw him struggle with that. So when I think of Jaylen Brown potentially being a number one on a team, I think of him going to a team like Charlotte that's just always middling around. Like that's kind of what I would see.
Tatum?
Or maybe Miami, maybe another team like Miami.
Why does everybody go to Miami? They don't have any cap space
Toronto?
for that. Toronto, I could
Pascal
see.
Siakam, Jaylen Brown. No, you probably have to trade.
Siakam's on my
Boston
list.
Boston would get more than
Yeah, I
than
know.
Siakam.
Kyle has like
I,
Pascal Siakam in his burn book.
I-
He has like a dartboard up in his room, and like Pascal Siakam's
Yeah.
the bullseye.
he is definitely on it. I call him Mr. Generic. When I pull up 2K and they have like generic player 1, I'm thinking that's Siakam. They just didn't want to disrespect him. He has no bag whatsoever. Name one signature move Pascal Siakam has.
He did kind of go off in that finals though.
He's kind of good at a lot of little things. He kind of does a little
he
bit
doesn't
of
do anything
everything.
great. He does all the other stuff. He does all the other stuff well. He doesn't do anything exceptional.
I'd rather.
It's like he's not like Curry who
I-
has a 3-point shot. He's not like LeBron with like his dunking or his block skills. It's not like Luka or anything like that. Like he's just there. You know, like he just plays basketball.
Yeah.
No, you keep Jaylen Brown unless you get a great trade. That
I mean, how long we want, or what's this years for him for the resigning? If you want
It's probably-
'Cause, you know,
Like I said,
4
you
or
can
5
give
if
it
you're
you can
trying.
give it 2 to 3 years, and if it doesn't work or you can't find a proper rotation, then you can trade him. Like his
And it-
contract will be cheaper. It'll be more at a tradable point. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, if they
if
went
he's
about
still
it that
doing
way,
roughly
I'd be
the
okay
same.
with that. If they re-sign him
Yeah.
and then a couple of years they're like, all right, we got to move you, fine. But
Yeah.
I don't think they need to move him right now, which is kind of the narrative that's all over Twitter and ESPN. I don't think we need.
That's because it makes news, bro.
I know. I mean, I get that. Let me catch up with some of John's stuff. I would move Young to LA for Russell. Young has one of the highest assists in the
No.
league and can shoot. And
Yeah.
Dylan says
no.
Yeah, okay.
No, not for D'Angelo Russell. If you're trading Trey Young, D'Angelo Russell is not any sort of piece you want back. Like he's going to give you
I'd
less
take-
wins, and the Lakers don't have enough first-round picks to probably accommodate the win margin. You know,
nobody
You'll lose.
wants D'Lo.
Yeah,
I'll take it. It's like, Well, like which LA team? He's LA Lakers or LA Clippers?
we said for D'Lo, so it's a side.
Hey, some of the
trade.
Lakers.
Oh,
the
okay.
Lakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course you would take Trey Young for D'Angelo
Hey.
Russell. Like, no duh. Like, but
Yeah.
come on, like D'Angelo Russell. If
I
the
think- yeah, I don't-
Lakers
Mhm.
want to move off of D'Angelo Russell, they're gonna have to like sign and trade and like attach an asset because he was awful. He was terrible this postseason.
And maybe get rid of Malik Beasley too in that package.
And then isn't it funny how the Lakers fans have turned when they got Malik Beasley the trade deadline? Oh, we
Well,
got
he-
him. That
he
was
had-
my
No,
deal.
no.
When D'Lo
Like,
was going
he-
crazy, one of the best defensive point guards in the league. He's playing his
Now-
best
No,
ball.
now
because
it's-
Malik.
Now it's leave
And now it's like trade the man. He
I
sucks.
mean, Malik I mean, no, because like at the time, I mean, Malik Beasley, he was playing good, and he's had a slump.
This
He
is
never
literally
really,
what Malik Beasley is. He's a streaky shooter, and if
the
he's not
only
making
the
buckets,
only like well, I did like Russell at the time because like it was an
because he
upgrade.
was different. That's why.
It was an upgrade from
With
Russell
Westbrook, and you would have taken
Can I
if the
please
Jazz
talk, man? You
traded
cut
you
me off,
grass,
man.
you'd have been like, the
You
greatest
cut everybody
grass
off,
ever.
Jordan.
You cut
You cut
quiet.
everybody off.
That's how
If you
Lakers
guys
would have been.
got Jordan Clarkson, you would have felt the same. If you guys got
I
any
like
28, 29-year-old point guard who's been okay in his career that wasn't Russell Westbrook, you guys would have been like, man, he could probably do something with LeBron on the team. Who'll get him right?
Now if you can keep Rory Hachimura, if you keep Rory and Austin Reeves, man, that's the first goals for
With that
us.
price tag they're kicking around for Reeves.
Yeah, you do that, and that's all. You're not going to be able to.
I mean, well, Lakers-
I'm hearing the Spurs want him. I'm hearing the Spurs are might offer him big money. He's from Arkansas. He's from that southern area. So.
Lakers said that you're going to match any offers. So.
Yeah, and that's going to be their salary cap. Like they're going to be maxed out with those two guys.
You're going to pay
it's
Austin Reeves,
John
LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, and say that's our roster. That's
John Sutton's going off on your team, calling your team scrubs, man. Or scrubs, like John's comment.
I mean, he's just
trying to
saying.
deflect the blame there, man. Jeez.
Huh?
I mean, well, look. To be honest, like if you look
He's
at,
not going to damn Detroit. What?
I mean, Monty Williams in Detroit, I could see a turnaround there. They have a lot of young pieces that are
They got
pretty
Cade,
good. They just
Cunningham.
have to figure it out. Cunningham, Ivy.
Do
I
they
think
have
Wiseman's gonna do
Wiseman
well
there?
there
Yeah.
because there's no pressure like there was in Golden State, and he was.
I think Sadiq Bey, right?
And they got the
he's in
fifth
Atlanta.
pick this year too, I think.
Oh.
We had this conversation last show.
Yeah,
He's in
Sadiq
Atlanta.
Bey got traded.
Oh.
All right, so let's talk finals here because we're getting close to an hour and a half. Oh, games 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah,
Split them in Denver, and now there's this series switches to Miami. So I guess really quickly for you guys, what do you think was the biggest key from the first 2 games that you saw for Miami and Denver?
When you get to play when you get to play your brand of basketball, it works. I mean, obviously, the first game, the Nuggets just executed their game plan and won pretty comfortably. And then the second game, it was working out. And then the Heat got on their roll. They started coming back. They executed their game plans. They got to play the style of basketball they're good at, and when you get to do that, you win. So it was about both teams just good coaching, right adjustments, knowing how to go out the team. I commend the Heat and Spoelstra for that definite game adjustment from game 1. It was crazy, but when you get to play your brand of basketball, it works.
Yeah, I mean, game 1, I mean, Max Strus laid an egg, 0 points in game 1. I mean, literally, 0 for 3 or 4. I think Vincent kind of had
he was over 10.
0 for 10. And then, Vincent had a bad game, but then game 2, I mean, they had –
Martin?
Sorry, Cam Martin.
Because
Cam Martin, yeah.
He was like 1 for 7.
1 for 7.
Yep, 1 for 7.
So Cam Martin and Max Strus been
Caleb Martin.
Huh?
You said Cam Martin. It's Caleb Martin.
Oh, I thought it was Cam Martin.
You said that last week.
You keep on to name him Cam.
Well,
we got Charles Barkley here.
Isn't Trent Birmingham Cam?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get confused because he's one in Charlotte.
It is?
Confused.
I actually forgot what his brother's name was.
It's Cody. It's Cody. His brother's Cody.
Okay, that's what I was saying. I was like, Cam didn't sound right.
Yeah, I was thinking. No, his brother's Cody.
Oh, I think that's not that's my friend's name from Montclair. His name's Cam Martin. I get mixed. But no, like Dylan said, the Heat made adjustments in game 2. They kind of
I said we knew they would because that's Spoelstra's MO.
Yeah, and that's what he does is his bread and butter, and they've kind of forced Jokic to I think he had like what 4 or 5 assists. So like he usually has like
He had
10 or
4.
12.
Yeah,
Yep.
for
So that was a big thing. I want to talk about real quick like Ramona Shelbourne's question to Spoelstra because that was a bad question. He
Was
was
it
like,
though?
"Oh, what was your game plan about making Jokic or something about not him not being a scorer or something like that or
That's
something?
but that
Maybe the
that
question
goes to the
was,
point you just made because you said Jokic only had 4 assists. That's kind of what her question was.
but Spose like he didn't really like that question. Like I don't know, maybe he just kind of threw him off guard. I don't know. But like at the end of the day, they made the right adjustments. Streets was hot at the gate in game 2. Butler. Oh, doing Butler thing, Jimmy Butler playoff Butler thing. Apparently, he's going to trademark his playoff Butler and make drinks and coffees and stuff. He's going to do that
Jimmy
trade,
Butler, yeah.
or Jimmy playoff Butler. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they made adjustments and they now they say Tyler Hero might not come back this because he's feeling like a little
And he should.
tightness in his hand or whatever. So
Don't come to
That's one of our
till you're ready.
questions. So shh.
Yeah.
So I'll just, the series has been really interesting. I feel like in game 1, Miami got a lot of really good open looks. They were passing the ball. There were a lot of good open threes, and they just weren't going in. And I don't think it's too surprising. They just got into Denver. They come through a big 7-game, very emotional series where they lost 3 in a row, then had to win the 7th game. Denver had been off for like 9 or 10 days. I don't think anybody expected Miami to win. And then in game 2, Miami made a big change. Not only were they making their 3-point shots, but they really decided to look at what to do with Jokic. They said, okay, he can either be a passer or he can be a scorer. And they decided we're going to make him score. And he had like 40, I think it was 46 points, something like that. He had over 40 points, and he was really dominant in that fashion. But he only had 4 assists. And when you cut down on the passing and the movement of the ball, it makes it way easier to defend. It makes it harder for the other players to get in rhythm, to step up to the moment. We saw Jamal Murray at moments look really great, but also at other times kind of disappeared. Same with the rest of the roster. And then the big thing that I don't think gets talked about, and all of us that have played like pickup basketball can kind of relate to, when you're playing basketball, if you're not getting the ball, if you're not getting touches, you're not as inclined to play defense. It's just harder. You see that all the time. Where who was it for the Celtics? They'd always start the game and make a play for Kendrick Perkins so he could get motivated and stay in the game and be focused defensively. And so I think by cutting down on the playmaking ability of Jokic, it really kind of set the tone for the defense to have a lot of laps. We saw that with Porter several times where he just completely fell asleep and completely got lost on plays, and those big threes came through. So I think that plays a big factor into it. But yeah, those are the big things that stood out to me. Was like the Miami Heat have been getting good looks all series long. They're also very tough. I hopped onto your watch along, Kyle, in the second quarter where where Miami was just turning the ball over left and right. And you said on the chat, like, where was this Miami team in the Eastern Conference Finals? And it turns out that they just weathered the storm. They got their stuff together. And it was surprising because they would call a timeout, and then out of the timeout, they would have lead to another turnover. Like, it was very, very sloppy and bad, but they weathered the storm. They got their act together, and they came through. They had a lot of everybody stepped up. The person I've been really impressed with has been Bam. I feel like Bam Adebayo has really had a big series. There's been questions about what he can do offensively. He's had a pretty good mid-range game. He's been doing kind of a point center, like taking the ball up the court, kind of trying to get Jokic to move around. And I've just been really impressed with him. Great series so far. And I'm curious to see how each team is going to game plan against each other, and what Miami does with Jokic. Are they going to let him score, or are they going to try and make him be a facilitator?
It's a game that definitely Miami Heat definitely should have won. Momentum going to Miami for 2 games. They would have been they would have been down at 0-2. So I mean, going to Miami, it's another 1-1, feeling good. So the much needed win for Miami. And they gotta feel off that crowd too, Miami, and Miami's gonna be rocking both games. So my prediction, I think Nuggets take 1 game, and maybe he take tomorrow's game, and then maybe Denver takes game 4, and then they'll be back and forth Denver and Miami. But I mean, they gotta at least get one game in Miami's team. They got to defend home court. But yeah, definitely a must-win game for them in game 2. To get that momentum, and yeah, we'll definitely see game 3. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm
All right, so let me
excited.
get John here. I don't care if Hero's ready. I wouldn't play him. Maybe bench for last 3 minutes or so,
Some
or some
bullshit.
shot because you know they're gonna go after him and don't mess up their rhythm. In my opinion, you have him under contract for another 3 years for big money. If you win, you win. If you don't, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that is something
agreed.
because he hasn't played since what April 16th. Yeah.
Yep, something like that. What are your thoughts, Kyle, on the series so far? I'm curious what we've all had our stuff. What do you think?
No, I mean, mine's is kind of simple. I'm along the lines of Dylan. I feel like when Denver gets to get out and run, they look like the much better team. When Miami gets to slow the game down and they don't turn the ball over, they can hang with this Denver team much better.
Mm-hmm.
And Spoelstra must have been listening to the watch along too, because after game 1, I said they should try the double big lineup, and it worked in game 2. So I'll toot my horn a little bit there. But I mean, you guys did talk about Tyler Hero. He was the next topic. What impact would he have, or at this point, do you think we actually see him in this series?
I think I have to give it John. There's no really point of him coming in.
I'm
Maybe
pretty sure clean sweep for us.
maybe like in
Yeah, don't mess
spurts.
up the rhythm. I'm hearing like he's still having some swelling and soreness. You have him on contract for a while. Like this,
I mean, it'd be
group
great
is
to
the
have
group
him on the team,
that deserves
but
to win the finals. Like I'm sorry, like all the minutes you would have to get rid of to play Hero probably properly, isn't worth it. Because like I don't think Martin should get less minutes. I don't think Struth should get less minutes. I don't think any of those guys should get any sort of less time. This is the roster that should be in the championship. Play him off the bench. Maybe if it gets to the point where you might get beaten 5, and you have to throw something out there, then yeah, try it. But if the series is going 7, don't play Hero unless you need to.
Okay. So John says bet Spoelstra will put Love on Murray this game just to throw them off.
Love has been really good this postseason. Like I know his box score never looks really impressive, but Love does a lot of really good small things for this team. That was a huge pickup for them on the buyout market. Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Man just puts Robitussin on him and get him back in.
Nah, man. Can't mess with hands, man. There's a lot of bones in there. There's a lot of bones in that hand. And you got to worry about chemistry because if he were to come back, let's say he would be healthy for, let's say, game 4, he's not going to start right away because he hasn't played since April. They already have a momentum. So you're looking at 15 to 20 minutes at the most. Like, you have to go with what's been working for you. You can't just mess everything up and change what you're getting from Strus and Martin and everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if they did playing small minutes, maybe late game to get his rhythm back, but just know you can get a rhythm back in like 3 to 4 or 5 games. Like John said, I can't believe I'm agreeing with John, but he's on that contract. I mean, there's no point in risking even more injury because it's like boxing. If they know the scouting report that he has a broken hand, they're gonna kind of like not like attack it like intentionally, but they're gonna target that hand. So no point in further injury where he might have to get surgery, or he's probably gonna get surgery at the end of the day in the off season. But there's no point in risking it. I mean, I'd say this if you do kind of play him in like kind of spurt minutes, like kind of like here 5 minutes here, like if they need them, but they don't need them, they don't need them, So, but I mean, it would be an addition if he can shoot, but I'm not sure which hand he hurt, the non-shooting hand or the shooting hand, but because obviously basketball, you have to have the offhand to guard the
whatever hand.
Yeah,
actually, that's a good question. I don't even know which hand it is.
I'm not sure which hand it is, but either way,
the shooting hand, it's not a big deal, but you have to have the offhand to kind of guard your
I'm trying to think of the play when he fell, which hand it was. But yeah, I mean, look, either hand it's going to be an issue because dribbling, you got to use both hands for that.
Hey, John Ryan freaking laid it up with one hand. Like, he freaking Well, that was a wrist, I think. That was different, but it was like the hand wrist area.
So John said it was the shooting hand.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So.
Yep. Yeah, don't mess with that stuff. Just be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we see him. Maybe if it's a game 7, because that'd be like a week and a half from now, and if he doesn't feel any discomfort and you want to save him in case of emergency for a game 7, fine. But yeah, I don't think we probably need to see him. Sajin says, "Are we talking pins in the hand?"
I don't think so.
I would hope not.
All right, so I mean, we touched on this a little bit, but here we go, Jordan. Here's the moment you wanted. So Kyrie comes out talking about he's trying to recruit LeBron to join him in Dallas, which is kind of hilarious. Number one, because Kyrie's a free agent right now, so I guess Kyrie assumes he's going to be re-signed in Dallas, and then he's like, "Hey, LeBron,
Yeah.
come on down."
I've heard Kyrie's kind of like made it all signs clear that like he has no interest in LA and like he wants to re-sign with Dallas.
Yeah, because he wants that supermax. He wants that 250.
Yeah. And nobody else will give it to him. So, simple question: is there a chance that you see LeBron in Dallas?
0.
Nope.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought.
Nope. No, just to look at it, like I'll take like 30 seconds here. Like it's not going to happen. The Lakers are probably not going to want to even trade LeBron James, first of all. And the players that Dallas currently has on the roster that are eligible to be traded that aren't named Kyrie or Luka, they're not great players. That to match the salary that has to go back because of both teams' payrolls, it just doesn't make sense. Like it's not going to happen. LeBron James, he could next season he could decline his player option and then sign as a free agent in Dallas. I could see that happening, but this year it'd be way too hard for that trade to happen. I don't see it going at all.
And then also another piece, Draymond Green to the Mavs too. Like that's not gonna work. Like I think it was Kyrie, LeBron, Luka, Draymond.
I saw that too. I almost used that as the image, but I was like, I don't want to waste my time with that one.
What draft picks and players can they trade out? Because they don't have anything. They keep trading all their picks and players for these things. And if you're Luka, you can't be happy with any of this. I mean, Kyrie came, you were a 5th seed. Kyrie came, you missed the playing game. You get LeBron and all the distraction that comes with that. And then like this is all these signs, in my opinion, are leading to Luka being like, dude, I'm out. I don't want to be here. This is like when LeBron with his first stint in Cleveland and they kept trying to make moves and all the moves were wrong and then he just left. I could totally see that happening with Luka because the team just seems to be trying to improve the roster and just failing in every single way that they're going about it.
Yeah. So to answer Sajin, yes, the NBA is definitely expanding because the new CBA with the little play, like the tournament, mid-season tournament, it works better if there's 32 teams. And I think the NBA teased it for a while, even before that. The assumption is probably Seattle and Vegas, but I guess we'll never know until it's actually official. But yes, the NBA is and 100% also, expanding.
You have to look at the league's never been deeper than it currently is. Like you look at all the talent in the league, and you could make an argument it's never been as deep, maybe in the early 90s, late 80s. So there's room to move this team around. If you had gone 15 years ago, there wasn't enough talent to really allow or facilitate 2 extra teams. But now with the way the league is, it totally could happen, and it's going to be Seattle and probably Vegas.
Yeah. John also put, won't be another 2016 Heat super team. Not a chance because of money reasons, and I don't think Silver necessarily wants that. He'd rather have the talent spread out. Even though I think if you're a fan, like that 2016 Heat team was like the team, if you weren't a Heat fan, that you really wanted to hate against. That's also good for business as well. If there's one, even the Warriors teams when they had KD, everybody hated that group. Was good for ratings because you just wanted to see them fail. So
yes, they lost to the Pistons. Yeah. Can't believe I just watched them play the Pistons.
Right. So it works both ways, but yeah, we probably won't get it.
Yeah, I wonder what city is going to have the first, maybe Seattle with the Supersonics, or like bringing them back.
They'll do 2 in the same year. They'll do 2 in the same year.
Is KD going to go back to the Supersonics? That'd be interesting.
But give us DeJounte Murray, Paulo Banchero, Kevin Durant.
Seattle's like a sneaky hotbed for NBA talent.
Yeah. A lot of people, like A lot of people will go
Thomas
there.
from that
Jamal
area.
Crawford will be there and at the Seattle games the whole time.
Yep.
Great.
That's going to be a
Excited
great
for it.
market for them to tap.
Oh, I
back
can't
in.
wait.
Do they have to build a stadium, or do they have one from the old? They can just rebuild that concrete.
I think all they have to do, they have to revamp Key Arena because the reason they left was because Key Arena could only hold like 14 or 15,000. It was
Well, they
very
have
outdated.
Climate Pledge Arena now, and that's where the Kraken play. And so,
Okay.
they could do something.
Yeah, that arena is nice.
Oh, good.
So John says, team you think will surprise everyone next year: Charlotte, Knicks, Pistons, or Jazz?
I think the Pistons are going to make a big jump. They have a great coach. They're going to have the 5th pick. They have some good players. They're going to get healthy again. I think they're going to be good. I think we just need to see for Utah with all their draft picks, what they do in the draft and what other moves that they make, because they don't have the talent really. And the West is going to be a lot better this coming year than it was this year. So of that list, I would have to say that Detroit's going to be the surprise team. I never have any faith in Charlotte, and the Knicks are going to be good. Like, they're not going to surprise me because they're going to be a good team. They just are. They have good players, and they played really well this year.
If the Knicks move on from Randall, I'd pick them. I think Randall's the biggest thing weighing over their head right now. They got to figure out what to do with him.
Yeah, just to keep it short. Yeah, the Pistons. You have a good strong core there with Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. You have Jalen Duren, who's still looking to be really good. You still have a lot of other young pieces. You got that 5th pick, like Jake said. You can build a good roster there. Just let Monty Williams do his time. Probably might not be this year. They might maybe be a sneaky play-in team this year.
They're going to be a play-in team.
But give it a couple of years and let this roster progress some.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on the Knicks either. I mean, obviously they were in the playoffs. So they're a sneaky team.
We're not sleeping on the Knicks. We're just saying most surprising. The Knicks are going to be good.
Well, he said don't sleep on the Raptors either. I'm like, don't sleep on the Knicks either because they obviously they were in the playoffs. There's maybe
But would the Knicks count as a surprise next year though?
No, because they made it to the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like the surprise would be if they won the title. Then it'd be like, oh yeah, that's a surprise. But no one's sleeping on the Knicks. We all expect the Knicks to be anywhere between a 3 and a 6 seed.
They're just
I would say.
No, kind of a random replacement away from making a deep run.
Yeah. If they don't replace Randall, then it has to be a player better than Randall that pushes Randall to like your 3rd option.
Yep.
Because where he is currently on that team, he has to be either the number 1 or 2. Even though Brunson's became the number 1.
I'm surprised they don't play Obi Toppin more.
Not the greatest.
Well, that would be my motivation with Randall. That opens up more of an opportunity for Toppin.
More reps for Toppin. Like he's still.
I like him, man. That Dayton team was good.
Okay. All right, Sergeant.
With the questions, man.
Thoughts on Vogel to the Suns?
He's not a bad coach.
I'm not mad at it.
The thing that's going to help the Suns, I think, with Frank Vogel is Frank Vogel's a really good defensive coach, and he really likes to pay attention to detail on the defensive end. And I think you just look at the players that are on that roster: DeAndre Ayton, Kevin Durant, who's a good defender, but he's getting older, so he can't really be a big defender, and Booker. None of those guys are great defenders, but Ayton can be, and I think maybe that's one reason why he was there. I didn't love the hire, but I don't hate it either. I didn't like that they fired Monty Williams. I'll put it that way. I thought they just should have kept him. Yes. He's a top 5 coach probably in the league. It's hard when you say top 5 coach and there's like 8 top 5 coaches. He's a great coach and there's a great relationship. He's a great person. I wouldn't have fired him, but there's worse people. But I didn't love it either.
Yeah.
But don't they still have that assistant coach on there, Kenny Young? He's still on the coaching tree, right?
They did keep him.
I mean, Vogel, he's a good. I mean, he's a team-minded coach. Maybe he can freaking light a fire under Eaton's ass and freaking get him going. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think
he has it in him.
I don't think he has it. Well, I think Vogel has it in him, but I think Aiden
doesn't have it in him. Aiden's not that dog. He doesn't have that dog in him.
But who knows, man? Who knows what? I mean, Vogel coached LeBron. Got him that ring. Who knows what they can do with KD? So I mean, I'll give Vogel a chance.
Suns have a CP3 problem too. Well, although he's a free agent.
I saw. I don't know if they're I saw a lot of sports pages on Instagram. They said they rather keep CP3 and trade Aiton. So they're going with
You
CP3
could do both. You can move on from CP3 and trade Aiden. I
because
don't
Chris
see
Paul's
the need for
Chris
Paul
Paul's
at this
injury
point.
prone. So
No, look, Chris Paul. If this is the Chris Paul from 2 years ago, even then, yeah, he could be good. But at this point, in the regular season, we saw
on Booker and KD at this point. Like,
yeah, we saw the writing was on the wall during the regular season, and then the injuries kept going. And even if he was healthy, he's not the player we expect him to be. And that's no knock on him. He's a 37-year-old point guard that's 6 feet tall. That's tough. That's hard. And I think his days as being that elite contributor on the Suns are over.
Yep.
Look
Bring
at a
in
three-team
campaign.
trade. If I'm, like the Suns, I look to see if I can try to get like Fred VanVleet on this team. Maybe Ayton has to go to the Raptors. CP3 goes to whoever you do in that 3-team trade. Get hopefully some other pieces to build around that. If you had a team of like Fred VanVleet, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, TJ Warren, you could look to get some center pieces while you're curating CP3. Just someone like some good depth. I don't hate it.
is that his name, Kenny Young? Because I looked him on Google, I can't find him. It came up as a football player.
It's something Young. It's either like Keith Young or something. I know who you're talking about. I don't know his first name.
Young. It's just son. Coach. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick. His name.
Okay. Well,
Oh, then they got Phoenix. Oh, they did get Fizdale too. I mean, that's a good pickup.
They have a good coaching staff, but again, when it comes to leading the team, it's going to be Vogel.
Oh, Kevin Young. My bad, Kenny Young.
That's what it is.
Kevin Young. My
Kevin
bad.
Young.
I apologize, Kenny Young. Kevin Young. Kevin Young. There you go.
No,
we knew it started with a K. I mean,
Same thing. That's like Kevin Young. Yep. Well, Sizen, you know that. How come you couldn't correct us right there? Like, come on, bro. Like, made me look dumb.
just left us out there dangling on
like
that.
You can make a good roster with still having Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. The Suns are in a spot where they can get good depth pieces. Like Kyle, you said earlier, this league is so deep that you can trade Devin Booker and Chris Paul and get assets to build another good roster around 2 all-star caliber scorers. Like, man, hit up the Nets. What do you want for Dorian Finney-Smith? Like you could do a trade like with any one of like these good teams that has just good depth pieces.
Yeah.
You don't need Chris Paul there. You don't need DeAndre Ayton there, and it will work. Giannis won a championship with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. He didn't need super tremendous stars. You can get it done with the proper depth pieces, and I just think they have a log jam of talent there. People who just want to get the ball, main ball, like people.
Yeah, Phoenix tried being top heavy last year, didn't work.
Yep.
Play the depth game, and they'll be fine. All right, so I said before the show I have 2 trivia type games for you.
let's do it.
So I have guess the team. I have the starting lineup up by their college. You tell me which team this is.
This is NBA, right?
Yep.
All right.
Here we go. So your guards, Kentucky and Maryland. Forwards are North Carolina, Iowa, and the center, Gonzaga.
Is this the Orlando Magic?
It's not.
Wait, are you thinking a team or just like an individual player?
This is a team.
This is a current team.
Yep. The starting 5 was this past NBA season.
Wait, who'd you say? Who'd you say, Jake?
I said Orlando.
I said Orlando.
Is it Detroit?
Nope.
Because Iowa, they got that dude, the center that they had. He don't play though. Like, is it Garza, whatever his name is?
Yeah, he doesn't. No, yeah, this is the actual starting lineup.
The Gonzaga guard in Iowa. When I'm trying to think of those players that have played at those schools that are on the same team.
Yes.
Wait, so you said UK and then Maryland are the guards, right?
Yep.
And then the Carolina.
Forwards are Carolina and Iowa, and the center is Gonzaga. Also in the chat, if you have an idea, definitely throw it out there.
Brooklyn Nets?
Nope.
Damn. I was thinking Cam Jordan
Oh,
or Cam Johnson.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I'll say it, Dylan, because I'm blanking here.
You might be on
Is
it.
it? No. Is it OKC?
No, it's not. It's not OKC.
Like we can't look this up, right? No, like no cheating.
No,
Okay.
there's no cheating here.
No, I thought Dylan was.
So first
Yeah,
hint.
No.
First hint. Western Conference.
Shea Gill just played at Kentucky.
Okay.
It's a
Western
Conference team.
Conference. Okay.
It is not the Grizzlies.
It's a Western Conference team.
Yep.
Utah.
Not Utah.
Lakers.
I mean, that's your team, man. No, it's not the Lakers.
Well, I'm saying
It's the Kings.
It is the Kings. Yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Sabonis.
yep.
That's who it is.
Oh,
yeah,
Who's the
Hurt.
short
Yeah,
man?
I wasn't
Iowa?
thinking Herter as a starter. That's why I was thinking the Kings, and I was like, well, did Monk start? Monk probably had to start.
went
So I was
Carolina
thinking two
on
Kentucky
them?
guards.
North Carolina's Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes. Yep.
Yeah.
Iowa was
Kentucky was
Kenny,
De'Aaron Fox. Herter was Maryland. Iowa's Keegan Murray.
Keegan Murray. Yep.
Murray.
Man,
That was
I
a good
forgot
one.
that. I should have saw the Iowa power forward and been like, it's only Keegan Murray. But I was set like Kentucky guards, like Fox.
Gonzaga,
Monk. I
who's
didn't even
the
think
third
Kevin
again?
Herter from
Gonzaga?
Maryland.
Bonus.
Sabonis. Yep. Well, damn.
Yep.
I probably played overseas. Like
No, his dad did.
He played
His
at
dad-
Gonzaga.
he threw me off the Gonzaga thing. I thought I didn't know he played there.
Nice work.
That was a good one.
All right.
I forgot Herter played there, Maryland.
Man,
I know it's right. in
I
your
knew Herter played
backyard,
at
man.
Maryland. I just didn't think of him as the starter. That's what got me.
Yep.
I saw Maryland shooting guard, and I was like, man, I can't think of anyone who's starting that's a Maryland shooting guard. I was like, I'm stumped. And when you said Western Conference, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I didn't even think Josh Giddey started. Josh Giddey played in Australia, and I knew that, but I was like, I'm gonna take a guess. I saw center, and I was like, Chet Holmgren. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I figured the Maryland might have thrown you off. Yeah, that's the Sacramento Kings.
You have one more though, don't you? The grid game.
I do have a grid for you.
Whoops.
Let's do it.
I like this one. This game right here is cool.
Yeah, I'll do them every week.
Fun to change it up too, so we're not just doing the same one every week with
Have
the
to
basketball
move this
reference.
to the
But
side.
how do you do that? Like, how do you edit that? How do you?
You just
I use
do it
Canva.
on Google Slides.
Oh,
Easy.
Canva. Okay.
Canva, yeah.
So we have our three teams: the Hornets, Timberwolves, and the Pacers.
Oh.
Hornets, Timberwolves, and the
Is the
Pacers.
grid on there yet? I don't think you have the grid up there.
Could you pick?
Oh, you don't see
Those
it?
teams are terrible.
No, I
Not
can
yet.
see
I
the-
still see the
court.
college team.
Oh,
Hornets,
For real? Hold
Timberwolves,
up.
and the Pacers.
let me fix that. Oh, okay.
Well,
Alright.
can I just say, I imagine Paul George is any answer for the Pacers. Paul George, Danny Granger.
Hold on. All right. Do you see it now?
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, average more than a steal and a half a game. Shot over 40% from three. Average more than 10 rebounds a game.
All right. 10 rebounds per game is Kevin Love for the Timberwolves.
Yes. That's
And then is the steals for the Hornets Kemba Walker?
actually hold on. I had it written down. Let me double check. Because Kemba, I think, might have been close.
If it's not him, I have a one more, I think. That might have done it.
Let's see. Steals. Where was it? You said steals for the Hornets?
Yes.
Nope, not Kemba Walker.
And then, okay, so then Eddie Jones. I know he
Yes, Eddie
yeah,
Jones.
I know he got a lot.
Yes.
What's that?
Eddie Jones averaged 2.8. Like, that's
Damn.
crazy.
Yeah, I
That's nuts.
knew he went crazy there.
I
Shot over 40% from the three. That's a rough one. Did Glenn Rice shoot 40% from the three with the Hornets?
He
I know he only
absolutely
played
did.
oh,
He shot
okay.
44%.
Oh, okay. I knew he only played like 2 years there, but I know he was pretty decent.
What
Dylan's
about
comment.
Lonzo Mourning for the 10 rebounds for Charlotte? Did he hit?
Alonzo
that?
Mourning averaged
That's good.
10.1.
Think
So
about
yes.
Shot over 3.
All right, so you got the Hornets all out the way.
Surprisingly, because they're like the worst franchise of those three.
Weirdly
teams.
enough, I liked it. Like I was like one of those like basketball fans growing up. Like I didn't really know a lot about players, so you just like kind of think of just like what teams look cool. I thought the Hornets always looked cool, so I knew a lot about their history.
I think me and Kyle can agree because we're about this. We grew up in the same time frame. The '90s Hornets rage for that teal and purple was everywhere. They were a garbage team, but that was like the coolest.
That jerseys just looked great on TV.
Everybody loved it, especially in the '90s. So I totally agree, Dylan. Where you're like, man, that's Charlotte. Yeah, that jersey that pops. You're not alone.
So this can be like any player throughout like history.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just what they did with the
With
franchise,
that organization,
the whole time.
Did Isaiah Ryder shoot 40% in Minnesota? I don't think so, but
Nope.
Shot probably like.
Didn't Rudy Gobert
Late
at Rice
career.
is taken? Never mind for Minnesota. No, never. He hasn't even been there for. Never mind.
Also,
no,
Kevin Love, he averaged over 12 rebounds a game with Minnesota.
Yeah, buddy. I know nothing about the Pacers. That's the sad part.
Did Ricky Rubio average the steals?
Ricky
For
Rubio
Minnesota?
averaged 2 steals
Okay.
a game.
Nice.
Okay.
Is Jalen Rose one of them for Indiana?
You gotta guess which one. You can't say.
Yeah, which
tell me
one?
Shot over 40%.
He did not.
Well, okay. So did Paul George average a steal and a half? I feel like he averaged a steal and a half.
Paul George did.
Okay.
He averaged 1.7.
That was a pretty easy one.
Wait,
40%.
I mean, is Rose like is he on that list of something or no?
Maybe.
For Pacers. He's
Did
not.
Rick Smits do 10 rebounds?
He actually did not.
He didn't. I know he didn't play a ton. Like his minutes were usually lower. Shot over 40% from.
I don't imagine.
Man, a 10.
Sabonis shot over 40% from three. Be kind of a weird stat. I'm pretty sure, didn't he have like one season though where he shot like really good? Like, wasn't it his like, I don't know. I think it was like his third year in the league. He shot like 50 though. So I mean, maybe.
Roy Hibbert for rebounds. He had to have done more than 10 a game.
I was going to say
right?
that too. I
He
was
actually
gonna,
did not come up on the list, no.
Oh,
wow.
man. Roy Hibbert, always disappointing. Always disappointing.
yeah, I was going to say that too, Jay. I was going to say Roy Hibbert too.
Artest probably never did because he was more of a switch player. He didn't do the 10 rebounds, I don't think.
Mhm.
And Reggie
Jermaine
didn't shoot
O'Neal?
over 3 for the Pacers.
Did
Jermaine O'Neal, did he do 10?
He did 9.6.
Oh my god. How many players did this 10? Like we're naming up all these other players.
I will say one of the players who did do 10 is an active player.
Oh, 10 was
Now they're not on the Pacers right now, but they are.
Dante Sabonis.
Ron Artest?
Lieutenant
I don't know.
for
Sabonis
Sabon-
averaged 10 and a half.
Sabonis on 10 and a
Okay,
half.
it was
Okay.
Sabonis. Interesting.
Okay.
All right,
You just 40% from three.
3.
Minnesota, who did you have to average 40% from three?
Yeah, I think Sabonis had like a half. He had 10 and a half, so he had a half rebound.
Because Sam Cassell didn't do 40 from 3, did he? I didn't think so.
I'll give you a hint for the Minnesota 3.
Okay.
Left-handed shooter.
Oh, Serbiak. Was it Wally Serbiak? Oh, no, I'm pretty sure he's still 40%. Is he close?
Zerbiak did. Well, Zerbiak was
Oh,
right-handed.
nice
so
work, Dylan.
Oh, I thought I didn't even think left-handed. I just thought of like white dude. I thought he's probably a white dude.
the first I was trying to get you to was Mike Conley shot 42%.
Oh,
I forget he was.
Fair enough.
Okay, so now Indiana from 3.
Indiana from 3.
Mark Jackson, did he hit 40? Okay.
Victor, I don't imagine Victor
can you give us a
Oladipo
hint?
did. I don't
Is this player current or active player?
You want a hint for the Indiana one?
So
Ron Artest? Not Ron Artest. Danny Granger?
I'm gonna say Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller didn't do 40.
Wasn't Granger. There is actually an active. Yes, there is one.
Miles Turner.
No.
I don't hate that though.
Buddy Hield.
Halliburton. Does Halliburton average over 40?
Halliburton does. Healed. Yes.
Oh,
does.
Hield, yep.
I mean,
So
the best
those
was
answers-
Chris Mullin shot 44.
So any of
Chris Mullin was on the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
It was the Jalen Rose days. Those Pacers teams weren't bad. But they
They
also
were a
had
good team. I forgot about that.
Bogdanovich, Troy Murphy, Doug McDermott,
Bogdanovich.
Heald, Darren
McDermott.
Collison,
All these white dudes. God.
No, Darren Collison. Oh, I forgot about him.
and Brandon Rush. When was the last time you heard that name?
Oh, God. I hate that
What about
guy.
George Hill? Is George Hill close? I don't think about George Hill. He's been someone with Indiana for a little bit.
Didn't David West play for Patriots for a little bit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bald-headed dude that played on the Warriors. Yep.
Yeah, he played for the Pacers for a while, but he did.
Kill you from the mid-range.
Yep. That was his game.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys finished the grid. You got the guess the team. That's all I have for this week. So I'll have to come back with, I guess, a couple. Well, the grids. I might do an NFL grid next week. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm down for an NFL grid.
Okay, and then I'll have another guess the team for you guys.
Let's do it. I'll be good.
All right. So, I mean, it seems like the chat just kind of calmed down with their questions. So I guess we can go ahead and head on out. But before we do, anybody got anything they want to add before we get out of here?
No, it's going to be a good finals, game 3.
Yeah. Watch
That's
game
it.
3. It's going to be great basketball, no matter what.
Ultimate Fighter episode 2's tonight. I mean, the first
Besides,
episode
make
was
sure you
pretty
subscribe
interesting.
to the YouTube channel JJ Sports Talk Show and the Sports Empire Network too. Definitely me and Kyle will be on there. That's a JJ Sports Talk on YouTube. So, and then Kyle's on there. I got Dylan sometimes. He's on there sometimes. Definitely would love to have you in the chats, man.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the Ultimate Fighter the first episode. I mean, if I was in that kind of scenario and Conor McGregor was one of the coaches, I feel like it's got to be like nonstop laughs. Him in that suit is just hilarious to me.
I'm telling you, they got him in the tightest suit possible. that man is roided out and just like because he's just so stiff because like he's wearing his lightweight suits like 20 pounds heavier.
I mean, it was a fun first episode, so I would definitely tell you guys to watch it.
Yeah.
I hope tonight's fight lasts longer than 8 seconds though.
Oh man, that's hilarious too.
Wait, it's on today? Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, it's on tonight, same time at like 9, 10.
What is it on ESPN Plus? ESPN?
Yeah, ESPN Plus.
Check that out.
Yeah, but yeah, that 8-second fight. I mean, that's got to be the worst. Like you get hyped up all week, like yeah, and then you get in the ring. It's just like
and
bing,
being the first fight of the show, you're like, "Ooh, Conor McGregor's my coach. I'm ready."
Yeah.
Clipped in 8 seconds.
It's not like the show's not scripted, right? It's actually real,
Yeah, it's a real fight.
Yeah,
so the fights
they're
don't
fighting for-
count against any of their records because it's not like 3-round fights. It's not like actual bouts. But
it's a good show. Jake, you got anything?
No, just great basketball. Like, I'm just looking forward to game 3, and we'll have I think we'll have game 3 and 4. I'm not sure when game 5 is, but it should be great
It's
basketball.
Wednesday,
Lots to talk about next week.
Friday. I think it would be Wednesday, Friday, Monday.
Okay, so we'll have
So
3
we
more
have
games.
5. Yeah, so it'll be right after game 5.
Cool stuff.
So there you go. We got Saijin on. He'll check it out.
yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, if you've never watched the UFC before, watching those shows is just like a good pathway to get started. Like watching like the Contender series and watching stuff like that without actually getting into it. Like you'll get to learn new stuff. You'll get to learn different training techniques, different just all arounds about MMA. I mean, that's kind of how I started, was watching
have
The
a
Ultimate
event
Fighter,
coming
and
up
it
in,
kind of led me
Paris?
into wanting to watch more of the stuff. So that's definitely a good way to start if you're interested.
Don't they have like an
We cut out.
I think we
Huh?
we lost you
You
for
Oh,
a
yeah,
second.
your audio cut for a second.
hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
I was gonna say, Dylan, like, isn't like an event coming up in Paris for UFC?
Yeah, they just announced. Well, it'd be
I-
their
I-
second ever
I
card.
know Amanda's fighting Saturday.
Yep, Amanda Nunes is fighting Saturday. Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush. That card sucks, anyways. They tried to bring a pay-per-view event to Canada and then made it like a very, very lackluster card, which makes sense because it's in Canada. They're like, this isn't MSG, this isn't anything big. If we're going to Canada, this isn't Saudi. Yeah, we'll throw something together.
Now all of our French Canadian viewers are just like, oh, this guy.
No, when they went to France, they put a good card together, and they're going to go back to France in September, and I imagine they'll put a good card together. But overall.
Yeah, I was in the Spideyverse, man. Spider-Verse, whatever.
All right. Well, so like we all said, by the time we're back next week, it'd be after Game 5. So I mean, unless one of these teams runs off,
we could have a winner.
We could have a champion by the time.
I doubt it, but
I doubt it.
theoretically.
I'm glad we didn't get a sweep.
Yep.
Right.
Give me 7.
Yes.
Give me 7.
Heat and 7. I'm
Get
sticking to
9
my
if you
Twitter.
have to.
I'm sticking to my Twitter. I'm sticking to my Twitter post a couple days ago. I got people pissed. So,
Well, at this point, you might as well stick to it.
and
I hope
Butler
Game
is going to
7
be
Whip
goes
up on
to
it
6
now. They'll just come
overtimes.
at you even more.
and
Game
huh?
7 goes.
And Butler's going to
Game
be
7 goes to 6
and,
overtimes.
and Butler's going to be MVP.
Dylan's just hoping the season never ends. It just keeps going into overtime for eternity.
Yeah, Dylan's like
I want all the weirdest stuff to happen. Give me Duncan Robinson Finals MVP.
Dylan's like Heat and 10.
If you want the crazy stuff, you need to have Udonis Haslam have like a signature moment in Game 7.
Man.
Like,
Like,
7 overtime.
everyone-
He's the one
possibly,
that
like Bam fouls out, like their other backup gets injured, and they have to rely on Udonis Haslam to make the
Yep.
game-winning free throws.
Yep.
He just retires in the sunset like that. Like
What
that
a
would
way
be
to
like,
go out.
Like he would get a movie made about his life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Is he going to come back next year? Or is he just going to be? Is he going to retire?
No, he's
He's
done.
retiring.
No, this is
sorry.
it. This is
He's
it.
done.
Okay.
he already announced that the little ceremony with him in a rocking chair and everything. Like, yeah, he's done.
Cool.
He'll probably go to the coaching staff like right after.
Because that's
What he's
basically
basically
what
been
he is.
doing for 3 years.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
New head coach
Um,
of the Miami Heat. When Spoelstra's
Yes.
gone. He's
Yeah,
young,
when
so you won't
Spoelstra's
count
gone
that
in
man.
like 15 years, Spoelstra ain't going nowhere, man.
Unless if like Pat Riley moves from the front office and Spoelstra's like, yeah, I'll take your seat, Pat.
Here you go,
Yeah,
Udonis
maybe.
Haslam, coach the team.
Yeah, just like Brad Stevens did with the Celtics. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Except for,
Has him the head.
he's won some titles,
Spoelstra moves up in the front office and has him the head coach.
I always like stuff like that. I like player coaches.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Rondo might be on the Celtics bench. Who knows? Rondo would be a psycho as an assistant coach. That's just me.
All those practices, there'd be fights. There'd be
God.
throwing hands.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's another Big 3 episode. We're here every Tuesday, 7 o'clock. And like you guys said, by the time we meet back here next week, maybe we have a champion, probably not. But at least we'll kind of know maybe a team might be up against elimination.
We'll have
Who
a better
knows?
feel for sure.
Yeah. So with that, for myself, Dylan, Jordan, Jake, appreciate all of you in the chat. Sijin kind of carried it towards the end there, but everybody else, appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, Anthony. Anthony's always in here. He says his troll statement, and he's kind of gone real quickly.
Yeah, Lamar on the cover. It's gonna be a broke game.
But yeah, so appreciate all
You
you in
want
the
to know
chat.
the
Make
crazy
sure you
thing?
like and
Like,
subscribe.
real quick, I'm pretty sure in that Madden, the running game was broken as well. Like, the run game was just, like, overpowered, where, like, running backs would just, like, be practically impossible to tackle, which makes
Wait,
sense.
in that game, I think
Yeah.
Lamar. I think they had that Truz. I think They took away like that the side like running thing away. Like
Yeah, because everybody and their mom was picking the Ravens just to run RPO. That's all it did.
I still run RPO. So, but
You
anyways,
just only run the Ravens. But.
good show.
Man, 24. It's gonna be a fumble. And
Oh, John in there. He sent me the gamer tags, man. So come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you threw the challenge out there, and I don't think they put it in the chat. Maybe they'll do it later.
But they do say real men do play Xbox, so I agree with that.
I guess.
You're allowed to have your console preferences. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Everything's cross-platform anyway, so it just matters what you like your system UI to look like.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
It's a world we can all live
Spider-Man.
together.
Spider-Man versus Halo. Just take your pick.
Spider. True.
Don't be sleeping on Final Fantasy when that stuff comes out either, man.
I haven't gotten into that series in a while. Although the new
Yeah, we'll
ones
definitely talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that off.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
Post
Sure. Oh yeah, we'll close it out.
Yeah.
Close it out.
But yeah, so
Sports Empire Gaming
sidetrack.
podcast coming soon.
Assassin's Creed. I'm ready for Assassin's Creed. My rage. I'm ready for my.
like I said, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next week. We are out. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and enjoy the rest of the finals. All right.
We out.